everybody.
Hey,
Ah,
sorry, I had some technical problems during the show last night. My screen went. Not last night, last show. My screen went black for a while, and I had to leave. And I heard noises. So, did I miss anything odd?
you make that
You
you make that statement pertaining to us?
Point. Okay, I just want to make sure that nothing strange happened while I was gone in the middle of the program.
Well, we started singing.
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
I'm sorry, guys. I was so wrong that I dropped that one song lyric right as we ended the show.
That
But
was, where you know Tim Curry from does tell much about who you are.
No, it just tells you where you know Tim Curry from.
Well, here's the thing. I had a girlfriend take me to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She introduced me to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But the problem was I was quoting the lines and I'd never seen it before.
I did that with Ferris Bueller.
Who remembers learning the words to Bohemian Rhapsody?
You have to learn them?
That's my point. There are some things that certain people on like a psychic level know. And hi, John.
Hey, John. I thought
I'm so glad your name's not Jack.
us.
No, my dogs left me a present downstairs.
Oh.
Did they gift wrap it?
Was it a pizza?
I think it was used pizza.
I think one of my dogs has a bladder problem. So.
See, that's not fun. I can't work with that. See, this is still a live show.
My dog.
I don't want to come back.
My dogs leave me used dog food.
Gently used dog food. Not thoroughly used dog food.
Well, it must be gently used because the other one tries to. Never mind.
Hey, it's a dog.
At least they're consistent. I can't wait to hear what Carl Witzman has to say about the last broadcast when he finds out.
What?
This is going to be.
No, Nick, that picture I post, when I gave my comment of watching the show and the guy falling over backwards out of the chair.
Yeah.
Had I not been able to grab something, actually, I grabbed my microphone because I was going backwards out of the chair.
We have that effect on people, but not usually one of us.
Dan, you have to, if you haven't seen the replay, Dan and John, y'all have got to go back. I mean, no offense to your show, but fast forward till you see the screen, his screen disappear, then back up. And
that one.
Yeah.
It really. I have this problem with when things go wrong, I immediately start improvising. And as soon as I do, everything turns into a warped version of Twin Peaks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't script any of this stuff. I don't know how Lydia became my undead assistant. I don't know about the desk gremlins. The Shoggoth was totally unplanned.
Now, wait a minute.
I did get my wife back from it, though.
Yeah. Nick, I got a question.
Yeah,
is Lydia your wife, or
no?
Okay. Is it the little girl from the horror movie program?
You guys have met Lydia, haven't you? Yeah, you've met Lydia.
Yeah.
I met Lydia, the tattooed lady, once, a long time ago.
Hold on. Let me see. You see, while I was being invaded, she went off, and she went to. This is Lydia. Lydia is my office assistant. She works security and makes sure my son stays out of my office when I have sharp things out, and actually keeps several of the guildies out. Oh, come on. I know you talk. Are you feeling talkative tonight? You know,
Release me, and maybe I'll let you live.
she reminds me of so many bosses and coworkers I've had over the years that she just completes the opposite. And normally she handles things like rampaging shoggoths, but she had slipped out for Starbucks, and I could forgive that. But she didn't even bring me anything back.
Now, Nick, I got a question. Were you on the show last week or Thursday night? I can't remember. Everything they all blurred.
I don't think so. I think I missed a couple actually because we've had some stuff on my end I've had to deal with.
Yeah, Betty White recorded me a message for Facebook.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.
Beautiful. Because you know what? There was a moment where I genuinely wondered if you didn't get a cameo. You're like, just for a second there, I'll let you know. I was, somebody threw like Betty White a couple $100 or something to say, "Hi, Joe Dog. I hope you're having fun," or something like the actors do. But
I think she'd want a little bit more than $100, but
you never know. Some of them are doing it remarkably cheap through Cameo because they have nothing better to do.
What was
but my wife won't let me date
Brad
older
Pitt?
women.
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool 2 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And he played the Invisible Man, so he was only on screen for like 30 seconds, actually.
Not even that.
Yeah.
It was like when he hit the electric line and was electrocuted, they showed him. That was it.
Yeah. I remember that, and I cheered. That's why I like The Adventures of Ford Fairlane so much. There's a scene in there where Gilbert Gottfried gets deep fried to a crackly crunch, and I hate Gilbert Gottfried. So I just cheer every time I watch that.
Well, but you have to have some actors you love to see die.
Yeah. Do you know Gilbert Gottfried is an act? When he's not in Gilbert Gottfried mode, that voice he does is his
persona.
Yeah, it's his persona.
Like Pauly Shore and the Weasel.
Yeah. Of course,
it took me the longest time to find out that Paul Reubens was not actually Pee-wee all the damn time.
Boy, did we find that out in the late 80s.
Yeah.
The Buffy movie was where I figured it out.
Oh, but that was brilliant. Now, I loved the Sarah Michelle Gellar Buffy series. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
Foundational to this day. Giles is one of those characters I will always think is one of the coolest ever.
Oh Lord, yeah.
But when people ask me how did you want it to end, I wanted Christy Swanson to ride up on a motorcycle and knock out Sarah Michelle Gellar, have her fall down the pit and go, "There can be only one," and end the series.
You needed to ride up on Pee Wee Herman's bicycle.
No, see, the same motorcycle she rode off on with Luke Perry, but without Luke Perry.
Yeah, really. Well, she needed a snack. It was a long trip.
and that's not bashing anybody involved with any of it. It was just
yeah. No, it really took me until Mystery Men to go, okay, this guy is actually not as horrible as I thought.
Actually, I think the way they should have ended Big Bang Theory is what's his name? Johnny Galecki, who played Leonard, wakes up in Darlene's bed and Roseanne screaming, "David, get up! You overslept."
As long as wait, you have to do something else though. If you do that, he has to run by the kid who played TJ going, "They say she's the same, but she's not."
Yeah.
Either that or Suzanne Plachette gets up in the bed next to him.
No, I love it though.
Okay. I only missed my Jeopardy host by one character. I wanted to see Johnny Galecki get to
Yeah.
replace Alistair Beck as the Jeopardy host.
Yeah.
They replaced him with what's her name? Blossom.
Mayan Blake.
If you can pronounce that name, you're better.
Baylock.
Yeah.
I can say it when I'm
Nero.
not trying.
Baylock, I think.
She's brilliant, and I'm glad that people are.
Yeah.
She's a neurologist, or I'm trying to remember the term for it. Aren't it?
Yeah.
She's got a doctorate in neurology or something.
Yeah,
like that.
she's intimidatingly intelligent, and I don't say that lightly.
Yeah. She's actually got a show, a live stream show here on YouTube.
Do we have any comments? I'm just checking. Okay.
No, there's not anybody even watching. We're just sort of sitting here talking on YouTube.
Well, I gotta be careful because I forget sometimes that this is the after show, not the after show.
Yeah.
And there's stuff I want to talk about, but I can't talk about it here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah. So this is. I don't know. I got a question. Are there any like celebrities or types of people you're actually intimidated, like talking to or whatever might mess with you a little bit? Not necessarily starstruck, but you know.
Actually, there was one. Dale Earnhardt.
I can see that.
Of course, it's actually sitting off there. If you see that cast right there,
Yeah.
I mean, that's my daughter's cast. Oh, hold on. I got to unplug. Oh.
He's got to pull out the pod catheter.
He wears the seatbelt in the chair.
Well, if you watch my shows, you know I should too. Oh, cool. That's cool. Seriously. And yeah, I guess there's a difference between like skill-based celebrities and then like just people who are actors. Acting is a skill, but you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, hold on. Okay, had to unplug my headphones. I'd loop my earpieces through my belt loop.
Would it be skill-based versus performance-based? That way you get actors on one side and athletes on another?
I mean, like, there are very few actors because it's like a lot of times I respect their character, but I don't know them. So why would I bother them? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then you meet somebody like, like Dale Earnhardt. Anybody who's involved with racing is going to be dumbfounded to meet somebody like Dale Earnhardt, because if you do enough of something to appreciate what they do, it's that next level for me. I think it's not just like, wow, it's Will Shatner that he played Captain Kirk forever, awesome. This is I think I'd feel that way about somebody like Stan Lee when he was alive, because I'm an author, I'm a creator.
I don't know. I ran into so many people that are celebrities in their own right within the kind of sphere there at LibertyCon and Anachrocon. I'm just going. I was washing my hands in a sink in a restroom next to one of my favorite cover artists, and another time one of my favorite writers. And actually started a conversation. I mean, it's not like it was at the urinal; it was at the sink, so it was kind of more socially acceptable. But a lot of the starstruckness, I have cast aside, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But it is in my nature to talk to just about anybody as if I've known them forever.
Well, yeah.
Now I've met one of the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I met Colin Baker.
Okay. Very cool guy, actually.
Yes, he is. It
That's what-
blew my mind how just down to earth the guy really was. Um, that was when I was, Dan. You probably remember when I was doing the live podcast and all that.
Mhm. I
Well,
always regretted turning you down that time at Anachrocon.
yeah, and and it cost you too, because several of those people that interviewed me are super popular now. And see, you missed your chance because of me. They made it. Now look where you are.
I made it in spite of you.
But
No, I didn't. I didn't have anything published. The only
well,
thing that I had going in my name was the e-zine. And
Yeah.
by the time I got through spelling out the URL, the show would have been over.
yeah. Well, when I met Colin Baker, I said, Susan Ray. You may know who Susan is, Dan. They were time gate at the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Susan goes, yeah, come down. I'll set it up to get an interview, for your show. I couldn't go live, but we could pre-record. So I pre-recorded a podcast with Colin Baker. You two know who Regina is.
Yeah.
Regina goes, Joe, 5 minutes. That's it. I'm gonna grab him and pull him away. 20 minutes later, I go,
He quits pushing her off.
20 minutes later, I cut the interview short. I said, I think your handler's wanting you to leave. He goes, yeah, she's bugging me, but I'm having too much fun.
See, that's great. I love people like that. I actually went out to meet somebody who was fairly influential on me. That being Rich Coase, the guy who played Svengoolie.
Oh, okay.
And because there was a long time where if you looked up my high school, what I wanted to be, it was a late night cable TV horror show host. I'm stone serious. That was like right up there with being a comic book author, you know what I mean? Seriously wanted to do the whole late night Svengoolie show the B grade movie, snark about it, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those call out things, you know what I mean? Where it was at a haunted house, and this line, and it was get pushed through. You couldn't get a picture. They want $40 to have a picture, and it was just dehumanizing almost. You know what I mean? It just felt like a cattle squeeze.
Yeah.
And so it kind of broke me. And then I'd watch like the footage of like a lot of the cons, and you see some of these actors and actresses who like the micro expressions all over their faces, they're miserable. And you realize that a lot of them, I think, are oddly introverted. They'll act on stage, they'll act in front of a camera, but when they're away from it, they're not, they don't, they're either on the stage or off the stage kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I've never been able to really, it almost feels cruel to go to, I don't know, it feels like it's freak pointing almost, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to tell you one of the greatest I've ever met. And you would think he would be a prima donna that, all the hoops you had to jump through. That's Henry Winkler. I
That
met
actually
him.
doesn't surprise me. That he seems
Henry
like a cool
Winkler.
guy.
Cool guy is you can't comprehend. You've been to conventions with all of them, and John and Dan will understand. I call it the bullpen and then the cattle call. The cattle queue. And the star always sits behind the table,
Yeah.
and a handler walks you back and forth, walks you to the table, and escorts you out. Henry Winkler didn't have a handler. He would walk up to you while you're standing there at the entrance to the bullpen, introduce himself. Hi, I'm Henry Winkler, and your name is, and you tell him your name. He goes, hold on just a second. He turned and looked to the person behind you and say, I'll be right back. Wait here.
That's so cool.
Walk you to the table, show you his merch, and chit chat with you for a minute or two, and then sell you whatever, sign and leave. I always ask the guest a question related to what they do,
Right.
but something they don't always get asked.
Right.
My question to Henry Winkler was Angus MacGyver ever one of Arthur Fonzarelli's students? It looked like I smacked him with a sucker punch because his head snapped around and this grin came across his face because it's something he'd never been asked before.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't think he was, but he would have probably been a lot better if he had been. And he goes, so I guess you know that I was the executive producer of the show? I said, yeah, I loved MacGyver.
Oh, yeah.
And it was crazy. I said, as I left, I bought his DVD of A Christmas Carol where he played Scrooge.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I said, I'm going to come back tomorrow. I want my granddaughter to meet you. He goes, okay. And I said, she has cystic fibrosis, and his head popped around. He goes, you better bring her back. We came in, and this is where it blew my mind. He asked me, what's her name? I said, her name's Mary Beth. He goes, Mary Beth, I like that. That's a good name. I came back through the line the next day. I mean, we're talking, this was like 7 o'clock at night the first time, and it was like 6:30 the next day. He walks up and he goes, hey, Joe. Hey, Donna. This must be Mary Beth.
Yeah.
How many of those stars can remember names like that?
That's so cool. That's just so cool.
And then they had the girl from American Pickers.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the tattoos.
Yeah.
She is not that friendly in person. Just put it to you that way.
Mm-mm.
Somebody that I ran into that turned out to be exceptionally friendly in person. Dan Rather.
I wouldn't doubt that. I would not doubt that in the least.
Well, he's old school.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, what you see is what you get.
Well, the thing was, I woke up on Saturday morning. I want to say it was November 3rd, November 4th. Can't remember when. I was stationed in Berlin at the time. I was off duty. I didn't have to work on Saturday. I slept late, woke up, turned on TV, and turned on the news. And there was Dan Rather standing in front of the Berlin Wall. I'm like, what the hell going on? Which, I'm stationed in Berlin, so he's literally right down the road from me. I'm like, what the heck? Turn on, and they're starting to announce all the problems that East Germany was having, and that the wall, basically, they were letting anybody come across the wall. I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. So I ran out, grabbed a bunch of my friends, drug them in my room, showed them the newscast. I'm like, when is that? It's live right now. Says, where is that? It's right in front of the Brandenburg Gate. I said, hey, you guys want to go down there? Yeah. Everybody got dressed, and we ran, and we got on the buses and taxis and everything, got down there. And we spent that entire night running around that area of Berlin while all this was going on. And Helmut Kohl, who was the Chancellor of Germany at the time, had flown to Poland for some sort of conference. Flew back to Berlin just to give a news conference or to give a speech that night in downtown Berlin. 5 million people showed up. And this was impromptu. This was impromptu. You just can't even imagine this many people crowding the streets like that. Only time I've ever even seen something like that was the New Year's Day thing in Times Square. It was that same kind of crowd and energy and everything. The sound system sucked. Okay, you couldn't understand a word this guy was saying, and just but he'd say something, and this whole crowd of 5 million people just. So we did that for him. And
That's cool.
I kept walking this little route between the Brandenburg Gate, down the Berlin Wall, over to Checkpoint Charlie. And I'd sit there and I'd watch the cars come through at Checkpoint Charlie, and I'd go back, and all these people beating on the wall with whatever tool they could find. Street signs, sledgehammers, whatever they could get their hands on. And I get up there, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Dan Rather's still out there doing the 30-minute newscast live from the Berlin Wall. I'm sitting there, I'm watching him do one of his newscasts, and he gets done. And I went over and I was listening to his news report. I realized he didn't realize that there were actually cars rolling through the Checkpoint Charlie. So I went over and I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know that they're letting cars through at Checkpoint?" And first he's shocked that I'm an American. And I thought, "Yeah, I'm a soldier over here at Berlin Brigade." Says, "Did you know they're letting cars out at Checkpoint Charlie?" It's really, "Yeah, I just came from there. I'm watching them let the cars through, and they're not doing the normal checks." Like, really cool. And he just real
I'm
nice.
right here, buddy.
So how long have you been here in Berlin? I said, "Oh, this is my, second tour, and I love Berlin. I love Berlin, great city." And he's like, "Really?" So we're talking. He says, "Did you know this was gonna be happening?" He says, "Well, kinda, because we've been handling the refugee traffic that's been coming through Czechoslovakia into Germany." I said, "Oh, cool." He says, "Yeah." So we just had this little conversation. Finally, he had, "Excuse me, I got to get ready for my next newscast." He says, "But it's been nice talking to you." And went back over and talked to his people about doing the next broadcast. So that's my Dan Rather story.
Okay,
Yeah.
you
John?
just said you were at the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
And you covered it with the I met Dan Rather. I think you may have glossed over the historical significance of what was going on at the time of your story. Dan Rather's great, but you were at the fall of the Berlin Wall.
He's got the wall. He's got pieces in a jar.
Write about that, please. Write it out in plain, simple English and publish that. That is the kind of first-person history that we desperately need.
Nick. I just did. This is on the internet. It's there forever.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, man. Come on. We need modern first-person sources, because if you don't write, and I'm sorry, I know I'm harping, but I go at this with my dad all the time, because he's like, "I was at Vietnam, this happened. Now the report's going to say this happened, and then the news is going to say that happened."
Oh, don't get me started on CNN.
Well, any of them, but especially back then, But when you are at the forefront of history like that, you write that down. Just type it up. And it doesn't have to be long. Throw that up on Amazon, make a few bucks, and then some history student later can go, "Yeah, I'm reading about the Berlin Wall, and here's an anecdote."
Great. It's just what I need in my life, to be a bibliography.
Yeah, well, no, I'm serious, man. It's important. I say stuff like this to Dan all the time. Like, you've lived interesting stuff. Write that part out and put it out.
Actually, Nick, my wife has her father's diary from D-Day. And it starts off, "I love the Yanks. They didn't shoot me." His tank division, his British tank division, was airdropped behind enemy lines on D-Day from gliders inside a Hamilcar tank.
Please, Dan. I'm taking my glasses off here. Please transcribe that. For credit him. Just get that out, because that's the best kind of history, and it's getting lost in the noise of the internet.
The weirdest thing, my second wife's father was an American Special Forces glider pilot on D-Day. They could have known each other.
Well, I'm sure them and the other 2 million people.
Yeah, well, that makes it a long shot, but I mean,
I just love the thought that they were on the same.
Yeah,
because it's a long shot, but boy, does that have a.
Wouldn't it make a great novel for my second father-in-law to have dropped my third father-in-law behind enemy lines inside a freaking tank?
The events are real, but the names have been changed.
The names are real, but the events have been changed. Oh my God!
Write that up. You okay, Joe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that just reminded me of a character name I'm working on.
All right. That is, I took this picture on top of the Berlin Wall right in front of the Brandenburg Gate. And the guy in the overcoat that's been over is a mechanic named Adams. And he's helping people up on the wall from the West German side. And all these, and there's some guy that's the bicycle suit, stuff like that. There's a music group. They've got a song called Right Here, Right Now. I can't remember the name of the group right now.
Right here, right now.
That one. And if you watch the video at the very beginning of it, it goes, I watched the decade end. The world could change in a blink of an eye. And they show the Berlin Wall. And as he's panning across the Berlin Wall at night, if you know exactly when and where to look, I'm in that video. For a grand total of 1/4 of a second.
It is Van Halen.
No.
No?
Now, Nick, tell me what you think.
That was the one Nick was singing, but
yeah,
the character's sort of a Forrest Gump type guy who has, just.
I misheard you for a second. Okay.
The group is called Jesus Jones, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. But
I can see where I made no mistake.
The character's name is Sholey Hit.
I know that's a pun, but I don't get it.
Nick got it.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Because that is spoken in proper Nickese. Sholey Hit has come out of my mouth in points. Because I used to joke that I have Doc syndrome, where I will switch the first of syllables of 2 words when speaking quickly.
Got it.
And Sholey Hit is.
It's a spoonerism. Yeah. Okay.
Would that not be a great name for a Forrest Gump type character?
You shouldn't have talked about it on live interwebs, but yes.
Yeah, but nobody's watching.
Is copyright to Joe Dog McKeel of Stupid O'Clock. Not all rights reserved, not to be used, disseminated, or shared without his express permission. Contact him and his legal staff to attempt to use it. Okay.
And if you attempt to use it, my lawyers will get in touch and basically.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.
That is such a useful little clip.
And once again, Stupid O'Clock is a member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. I love flexing on you StreamYard guys.
Now, Nick, you were talking about the dream of being the late night cable horror show thing.
Yeah.
You know that you have that technology right now in front of
Oh,
you.
I know. I am saving that because what I want to do when I can get some things stabilized and in here, I want to show B grade or less horror, but I also want to make it myself. So I have a couple little video vignette sci-fi kind of things I want to do, and then possibly host it myself, making fun of my own work.
Oh, when you said that, remember, were you around when I was doing Halicon, or did you come in later?
I think I can right around that time. It might have been later. It may have been you were talking about it a lot. So
Okay, I showed the public domain. These were C movies. I mean,
oh,
bad C public
I
domain.
don't think a couple of them were that high in the alphabet.
Yeah.
I live for those. I live for Zontar the Thing from Mars. The older version than Zontar the Thing from Venus that looked like a broccoli monster.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Joe showed a couple of O and N and L movies, actually.
now
Yeah.
here's the thing. In the breakfast area of the hotel, they've got a TV, a big TV
Yeah.
thingy. We tap into it and play, and we'll be playing those B horror movies from 3 o'clock Friday until about 2 o'clock Sunday. The only time
You're talking about an early breakfast there, Joe.
Now I'm going to tell you I have a dastardly plan at some point.
all
Because
right.
once I get something made up, and like my creator's bucket list is a complex thing of post-it notes, and right now I'm real busy with Luke Stone's Hybrids the RPG coming out. But in Fowler, which is a little town in Indiana near me, they have one of those old-timey theaters, and they will show anything that they can legally show for like $100. So I'm really thinking about putting together some truly terrible. I have some plots for some really diabolically bad monster movies that I'm planning, even if it's out of pocket, to do like a B grade monster marathon at the Fowler.
I see we got somebody popped into the room. That isn't one of y'all, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I'm going to pop that up. If you're whoever's sitting here watching,
Joe, that's you.
Yeah, please talk. I love talking to people.
yeah.
I can't tell you guys about the plot. Maybe after this is done, I'll let you guys slip.
Yeah, on the after show.
Yeah.
But-
I'll
yeah.
be right back. Can't go drinking beer all day and keep it to yourself.
You need a pod catheter, but
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Or the
I've had
tail.
I've had
Hail,
a real
hail.
I've had a real catheter. That's why I had to get up and go so much. The things once they stretch, they never go back to normal.
Hey, Dan, better
Yes.
get a bucket.
I
Get a
almost
bucket.
did
They're
something I
called
would
the
say
hail tail.
later.
Yeah.
All right.
A
We'll see
3-liter Coca-Cola bottle.
Oh, so you like my character's name, huh, Nick?
I almost want to write in one of my RPGs like based a gnome off of you on
Okay, you do it.
All right.
name it surely hit.
It's two real geeks. Yeah, two.
Hi.
I want to say your name's Ryan, but I can't remember. We're friends on Facebook. I am terrible with names until I talk to you like 30 or 40 times in personal interaction. I can't remember your name. Too many head injuries. There's a reason I don't shave my head. I had a rough childhood, and some of the knots never went down. What in the world is that? Danny. Okay. Hey, Danny, thank you. But yeah, keep a watch on the Halicon.com page and on Facebook, our page. It's called Halicon, a fantasy and horror convention. Let's throw that banner up. Yeah, right here. Probably by about noon tomorrow, I'll have the pre-reg up listed for Halicon and Halicon at gmail.com. If you um, shoot me a message, we'll get started talking and figure out what to do. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to have some media people there to help us.
Oh, I've been doing too much. Never mind the furthermore. My reflexes. When in doubt, plug. If it's quiet, plug.
Uh, what is?
Oh, right, there we go. Shameless plug. There we go.
Splash Mountain. Oh, okay, cool.
And right up front, the Two Real Geeks.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I pulled that off their Facebook page. It's on the internet. You can't lose it now.
You're mildly terrifying sometimes, John. It's why we get along so well.
All right. Yeah, Nick, one of the things that I was going to tell you, I don't know if you realized it or not, but we also include all your meals all weekend.
Oh, I know. I have to look and see if things.
Yeah.
I will explain why I have some extra layers of hesitance right now in committing to anything after the show, because there's personal business that needs to be here.
No, it was Dan that was asking, does that include the room rate? No.
Oh, okay.
Room rate and badges are two separate entities. I mean, I would love to be able to include room rate into a badge. That would make life so much simpler. But I don't want to get.
When they sell you your badge,
yeah,
should give you 8. If you buy a 4-day badge,
yeah,
they should give you 8 pick 4 lottery tickets with your badge number on it.
What you talking about, Willis?
Because if they've got 70,000 people attending the convention, and each of them has 8 lottery tickets for the pick 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That means roughly you're going to have about 6 people winning the lottery twice a day.
I did not realize it was that big a deal. Like, I knew it was a big con, but I didn't know it was.
I don't think they sell 70,000 4-day tickets. I think they sell like 50,000 4-day tickets, and the rest are people that show up for one day.
That's still
sounds like Dragon Con.
There's nearly 80,000 people there on Saturday.
Oh.
Yep, definitely sounds like Dragon Con.
And probably 75 on Sunday.
It's in 5 separate hotels in downtown Atlanta.
Yep. Nick, I just asked my wife about her father's memoirs.
Yes.
She gave the paper copies to her son.
Is it something you could get a scan of?
That's what I just told her. Get Anthony to scan them and send them to me. We can publish this on Amazon.
Right, because I have this thing about. Now, I admit a lot of it to me leans towards Vietnam vets, because I grew up with one, and there are certain aspects of history that offend me. And the ease that the story can be turned against the men fighting in it, and women now, but how easy they get vilified for political or popular needs. My dad had a bigger than life size poster of a very popular actress that he used as a dartboard. I mean, he still has it. It's up in his garage.
Would it be presumptuous of me to assume that I know exactly which actress? And her husband who owns a certain television company.
Right. There are reasons I'm not dropping names for Joe Dogs.
Legal reasons?
Well, just to keep. See, I will always err toward keeping you out of trouble if at all possible.
I believe you're referring to Hanoi Jane.
Preach it. Okay, I was trying to be good, but it's out, and yes. So
And
I see her on things, and I still like.
Okay. The funny thing about that is the only way she can sue us for saying that is if she copyrights the name.
And also
Or admits to what she did.
Or also, that is not her husband anymore. When they split up, he publicly said the reason we're split up is that bitch is crazy.
But
he suddenly went up in my estimation.
I went down.
Not much, but you know.
I went down to pick up my brother Jake, who was a Marine at Naval Air Station Atlanta.
Okay.
He was there with the Marine Reserve Unit. He was a FA-18 mechanics. We worked on the jet planes.
Yeah.
And this was right about the time Desert Storm and everything was kicking off.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was 4th of July weekend. They were getting the weekend off. So I went down, pick him up, bring him up. We were going to have a big barbecue thing. I had my military ID card and everything. So I get down there. I'm like, yeah, I'm here to pick my brother up. I said, we need to see some. And well, you need to go to the visitor center. Well, I've got a military ID. Does that help? I said, oh, yeah, sure. So they flagged me through. And there's all these press trucks out there. Okay. TBS has their big satellite truck. And so I get in there. Apparently, the last thing they're doing before they get off for the 4-day weekend, July 4th weekend, is Ted Turner is coming through and saluting all the patriots. Okay. And, thank you for your service and all sorts of stuff like that. And Jane's there with him. Okay. Now, I don't know if you know about my brother, but he just recently got out of Facebook jail. Okay.
I can just about see where this is going.
Okay. So
I really wish I had
she's
more
walking up. She's saying hello to they're saying hello to everybody. And and she walks up, shakes my brother's hand. He shakes her hand. Goes, says, and as she's walking, as she's getting ready to walk to the next person, he kind of holds onto her hand and goes, my dad was in Vietnam about the same time you were. He was just on the south end, and let her go. All right. Apparently,
that was a smooth burn.
The Ted Turner handlers went over and complained to the commander at this Marine Reserve unit. He goes, really? Well, I'll have a talk to him with it. I'll have a talk to him about that. I can't remember what it's called, but in the Army, we call it an Army Achievement Medal, AAM. He basically got the Marine Corps version of it. So,
yeah. I'm very cautious in what I say online just because of the litigiousness of the world. But yeah, absolutely. Bravo, Zulu, man. Just bravo.
Yeah. So somebody's going to complain and hurt my feelings.
Nick. At times, you need to live by these words.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.
You're going to wear that recording out, Jeff.
You damn straight I am.
Now, see, I will tell you, I kind of vented a bit earlier. I don't remember it real well. It's hazy and kind of smoky, but I vented a little bit earlier at Skunk. So
sorry, I'll turn the fan on.
I had to. It was dark in here. It was very strange. But, so, I try to be good. Like, it's the whole... on Facebook, for example, how I talk to people on their page may be radically different by what I will allow on mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that throws people off. But we also live in an era where people have you guys noticed this? I'm curious. Have you noticed people who will be completely rude and bizarre to you online, like through Facebook or whatever? and then you see them in real life, and they act like it's a different.
Oh, yeah.
Different world.
Yeah,
Oh,
like.
you. Well, no, I was about to drop a name, and we're not on the after show yet.
Yeah,
so
I know.
do
That's
that.
why part of my phrasing is so careful because.
Yeah, well, Nick, you're trying to say they talk to you like crap online and then wonder why you're wanting to punch their face when you see them face.
Yes.
You
Like,
wonder why you won't buy their stuff from their booth at the convention.
yeah. I had one guy say something and get into it with my brother. Now I have my differences with my brother. I have a differences with my family that happens sometimes, but that's a family thing, and anybody who has a family should understand that kind of concept. Now this fellow maybe was not so aware of his parentage as maybe he needed to be, but he made some suggestions, and I said, "Don't darken my doorstep again." And she's like, "Well, wait, no, this was just online, man. I don't understand why you're so butthurt about it." And I'm like, "You continuity, like, go consequences to your actions." And it just makes my ears bleed when people don't realize that. Hey, I said this online. Yes, you did. Now I see you. Would you like to say that to my face, please? Well, no, I wouldn't. I mean, but
Yeah, there are consequences to saying it in person.
my absolute favorite, a dear friend of mine, his name's Ben Starkey, and he recently passed, and I mourn him pretty much daily. Ben was 6 foot lots and about 500 pounds. He was going through Marine school until he had an asthma attack 2 weeks from graduation.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big, sharp, but tough, crazy dude. And gothed out, so spikes out his ears. He had a lot of beef with the world. I understand why. I remember we're sitting there, and he would sit down and he'd draw, and we'd be drawing, so we'd both be all hunched up like this at the table. So this guy's yelling, he goes, "I'm going to do this." He's yelling. I don't remember what he's yelling. "I'm going to kick your ass." And Ben stands up and goes, "Proceed?" And, "What?" "I accept your offer. Proceed. Demonstrate your ability to do so." And the look on this guy when Ben because he's painting a miniature. So he's all balled up like this. His hands are about twice the size of mine. Painting a miniature, and he just sort of like inflates. He gets up, and the shadow is falling across this guy. And the line just proceed.
You may test that theory at your convenience.
All right, guys. I hate
yeah.
to end the party, but it's time to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, Honey Badger don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go again.
Good night, everybody.